Born on October 23, 1940, in a small town called Três Corações, in the heart of Minas Gerais, Brazil, Edson Arantes do Nascimento began his life's journey in humble surroundings, unaware that one day he would become Pelé, the king of football. The son of Celeste and Juan Ramos do Nascimento, better known as Dondinho, a former soccer player who never had the chance to shine on the big stages, Pelé grew up in a modest household filled with love and a passion for the sport that would later define his destiny. From a very young age, Edson showed an interest in soccer. With nothing but bare feet and a makeshift ball made of socks or crumpled newspapers, he played on the dusty streets, already displaying extraordinary talent for his age. His childhood in Três Corações was marked by financial struggles. The family lived modestly, but that didn't stop the boy from dreaming big. Inspired by his father, who always believed in his potential, Pelé learned early on the value of perseverance and dedication. It was in Três Corações that Edson earned the nickname Pelé. As a child, he liked to imitate a local goalkeeper named Pelé, but mispronounced the name, calling him Pelé instead. The nickname stuck, and although he didn't like it at first, it would later become synonymous with greatness. The boy who played barefoot and improvised soccer balls from old socks could never have imagined that his skills would soon attract the attention of scouts and clubs. At that time, he was just Edson, a boy with a bright smile and a big dream, running through the streets of his small town. The childhood he spent in Três Corações laid the foundation for his reign. This is where it all began. The simplicity, the challenges, and the love for soccer shaped not only the player, but also the man the world would come to admire. Pelé's journey from a boy with big dreams to an international soccer icon began when he joined Santos Futebol Clube at the age of 15. The year was 1956, and Santos, already a respected club in Brazil, welcomed this young prodigy with open arms, unaware of the historic legacy he would create. When Pelé debuted in a friendly match for Santos, he scored his first goal, instantly showcasing his extraordinary talent. His playing style was electrifying, combining speed, technique, and an uncanny ability to read the game. Within a year, he was the club's leading scorer, a remarkable feat for someone so young. The late 1950s and early 1960s were transformative years for both Pelé and Santos. With Pelé as the centerpiece, the club dominated Brazilian football and soon gained international recognition. The young forward not only dazzled with his goals, but also inspired a dynamic style of play that earned Santos victories in domestic and international competitions. By 1962, Pelé had already won his first Campeonato Paulista titles and helped Santos achieve their first Copa Libertadores victory. That same year, the club also claimed the Intercontinental Cup, defeating the powerful Benfica team. Pelé's hat trick in the second leg of the final remains one of the most unforgettable moments in football history. Pelé's rise at Santos was not just about trophies, it was about redefining what soccer could be. He mesmerized fans with his dribbling, finishing, and an unparalleled ability to perform under pressure. For over a decade, he stayed loyal to Santos, rejecting lucrative offers from Europe to remain with the club that had shaped him. Through Santos, Pelé became a global ambassador of Brazilian football. His performances drew massive crowds from South America to Europe and elevated Santos Futebol Clube into a household name around the world. It was the perfect stage for Pelé to show that he was not just a great player, but a transcendent figure in the sport. The rise of Pelé at Santos wasn't merely about the trophies and goals. It was the story of a young man carrying the hopes of a nation on his shoulders and proving that greatness could come from humble beginnings. His legacy at Santos paved the way for his dominance on the international stage, turning the boy from Três Corações into the king of football. Pelé's journey to becoming the most iconic footballer in history reached its zenith when he joined the Brazilian national team. His story with Brazil began in 1957, when he was only 16 years old, and it didn't take long for him to make an indelible mark on the world stage. Pelé's first significant moment with the national team came in a friendly match against Argentina, where he scored his first goal for Brazil. That goal, however, was just a glimpse of what was to come. Pelé's talent was undeniable, and it didn't take long for him to establish himself as the future of Brazilian football. At just 17, he was already a key player in the 1958 FIFA World Cup in Sweden. Pelé's performances in the tournament are still regarded as some of the greatest in the history of the competition. In the quarterfinals against Wales, he scored a brilliant hat-trick, and in the final, he netted 2 goals against Sweden, leading Brazil to their first ever World Cup title. His performances were nothing short of extraordinary, combining skill, vision, and composure in a way that belied his young age. The 1958 World Cup marked the start of Pelé's dominance in international football, but it was only the beginning. In 1962, Pelé once again shone on the global stage, leading Brazil to their second consecutive World Cup title in Chile. Although he was injured early in the tournament, his presence on the field was crucial, and his team rallied to secure victory without him. This marked the first time any country had won back-to-back World Cups, and Pelé's impact on Brazilian football had become undeniable. However, it was the 1970 FIFA World Cup that solidified Pelé's status as a global legend. Playing with a team often considered the greatest in football history, Pelé led Brazil to their third World Cup title in Mexico. With goals, assists, and performances that transcended the tournament, he proved once again that he was the undisputed king of football. His partnership with players like Tostão, Jairzinho, and Gerson created a footballing spectacle, and the famous Jogo Bonito, beautiful game, was fully realized under his leadership. Pelé's time with the Brazilian national team was more than just about winning titles. It was about shaping the future of the sport. His extraordinary skill, coupled with his leadership and sportsmanship, set a benchmark that future generations of footballers would strive to reach. Pelé's legacy with Brazil remains unparalleled. 3 World Cup titles, 2 Copa America titles, and an unforgettable series of iconic performances that forever cemented his place as the greatest footballer in history. Through his time with the Brazilian national team, Pelé became a symbol of Brazilian pride, uniting the nation and inspiring the world. His feats on the pitch not only defined an era of football, but also made him a global ambassador for the beautiful game. His consecration with Brazil transcended the sport. It became a national and international celebration of excellence, talent, and the true spirit of football. Pelé's legacy as the king of football was not just forged by his astonishing performances on the pitch, but by his unparalleled achievements on the global stage. His journey to becoming a football icon was defined by triumphs, records, and a passion for the game that transcended borders and captivated the hearts of millions. The title King of Football was not given to Pelé. It was earned through sheer talent, dedication, and an undeniable impact on the sport that changed the world. Pelé's international triumphs began with his early appearances for Brazil's national team. At just 16, he was called up to represent Brazil and quickly became an integral part of the squad. By the time the 1958 FIFA World Cup arrived, Pelé was already recognized as a prodigious talent. His performances in the tournament were nothing short of legendary, as he helped Brazil secure their first World Cup title in Sweden. The 17-year-old scored 6 goals, including a stunning hat-trick against France in the semi-finals and 2 goals in the final against Sweden. His incredible skill, vision, and composure on the biggest stage established Pelé as a global sensation. Pelé's success on the international stage didn't stop there. In 1962, he led Brazil to their second consecutive World Cup victory in Chile, despite being injured in the early stages of the tournament. Although he missed much of the competition, his presence in the team was a key factor in Brazil's success, making him an even more revered figure in the footballing world. The Brazilian squad, full of talent and flair, was dominant and proved that Pelé's brilliance was not just in his individual contributions, but in how he inspired his teammates. The pinnacle of Pelé's international career came in 1970 with his third World Cup victory. Brazil's triumph in Mexico solidified Pelé's status as the greatest player to ever grace the game. The Brazilian team of 1970 is often considered the best ever, playing a style of football that was both beautiful and deadly. With Pelé at the helm, Brazil defeated Italy 4-1 in the final, and the world witnessed the full force of his genius. He scored 1 goal in the final and assisted another, showcasing his ability to both score and create. The 1970 World Cup marked the first time any nation had won 3 World Cups, and Pelé became the first player to do so, cementing his position as the king of football forever. Pelé's international triumphs were not confined to the World Cup. He also led Brazil to victories in regional tournaments, including Copa America and the Pan American Games, further cementing his legacy as the most influential footballer in the history of the sport. His presence on the field, his leadership, and his extraordinary ability to change the course of a game made him a living legend. Pelé's impact transcended football. He became a global ambassador for the sport, inspiring millions of young players to dream big and to follow in his footsteps. His international triumphs brought Brazil to the world stage, and his journey from a boy in Três Corações to the king of football remains one of the most inspiring stories in sports history. Pelé's reign as the king of football was built on a foundation of triumphs, records, and a unique charisma that made him not just a footballer, but a symbol of excellence and dedication. His international victories with Brazil changed the game forever, and his influence continues to resonate in the world of football today. In the mid-1970s, after establishing himself as the undisputed king of football, Pelé made a decision that shocked the football world. At the age of 34, he transitioned from playing in the Brazilian League to joining the New York Cosmos in the North American Soccer League, NASL, in 1975. This move marked the beginning of a new chapter in Pelé's career and a groundbreaking moment for football in the United States. Pelé's decision to play for the Cosmos was not just about continuing his career, it was about spreading the influence of football to new horizons. At the time, soccer in the US was a relatively unknown sport, struggling to compete with more established American pastimes like American football and basketball. However, Pelé's move to the US brought immediate attention to the sport, both in the media and among the American public. His signing was a statement that the beautiful game could no longer be ignored, and it was a pivotal moment in the sport's growth in North America. Joining the New York Cosmos was a perfect match for Pelé's later career. The club, which was already one of the most popular and well-funded teams in the NASL, was eager to make a mark in the international sporting scene. Pelé's presence elevated the Cosmos to new heights. His arrival not only brought fans into the stadiums, but also inspired a new generation of players and supporters. For many in the US, Pelé was the first true football superstar they had ever seen, and his dazzling skills and global recognition brought legitimacy to soccer in a country that had largely overlooked it. Pelé's time with the Cosmos was characterized by spectacular performances on the field. While his years in the US were not as physically demanding as his time with Brazil's national team or Santos Futebol Clube, he was still able to showcase his incredible talent and contribute to the team's success. Under his leadership, the Cosmos won the NASL Championship in 1977, a triumph that further cemented Pelé's status as one of the greatest footballers of all time. His time in the US also had a significant cultural impact. As Pelé played in front of large crowds in cities across the United States, soccer began to take root in the public consciousness. He helped bridge the gap between different cultures, as his international fame drew attention from fans around the world. His time with the Cosmos also marked the beginning of a transformation in American soccer, which would continue to grow in the following decades. Pelé's legacy in the US is not just defined by his on-field accomplishments, but also by his role as an ambassador for soccer. His time with the Cosmos paved the way for future generations of soccer players in the US and helped establish the foundation for the growth of Major League Soccer, MLS, which would later become the top-tier soccer league in the country. Although Pelé retired from professional football in 1977, his transition to the Cosmos and his impact on American soccer remained an essential part of his legacy. He demonstrated the power of football to unite people from different backgrounds and cultures, and his time in the U.S. helped lay the groundwork for the sport's expansion worldwide. Pelé's move to the Cosmos wasn't just a new chapter in his career, it was a turning point in the history of soccer in America. In 1977, Pelé, at the age of 36, announced his retirement from professional football, bringing an end to an era that had captivated the world for over 2 decades. His decision to leave the pitch, however, was not just the closure of a career. It was the end of an extraordinary chapter in football history. Pelé's farewell was not just about leaving the game. It was about the legacy he had built and the profound impact he had on the sport. His final match came with the New York Cosmos, a team he had helped elevate to international prominence. On October 1st, 1977, in an exhibition game against Santos FC, his first and most beloved team, Pelé played his last professional match. This match was symbolic in many ways. Pelé played one half for Santos and one half for the Cosmos, a touching tribute to the two clubs that had defined his career. The crowd at the stadium, filled with adoring fans, witnessed a moment of footballing history as Pelé bid his final goodbye to the field that had been his stage for so many years. Though Pelé's time in the U.S. had brought significant attention to football in America, his retirement signified the end of an era in global football. Pelé had achieved everything there was to accomplish in the sport. 3 FIFA World Cup titles with Brazil, countless individual accolades, and the admiration of millions worldwide. He had transcended the game, becoming a symbol of excellence and a beacon of inspiration for generations of players and fans. Pelé's retirement was marked by an outpouring of tributes from all corners of the football world. From fans to former teammates, everyone recognized the magnitude of what he had achieved. Pelé had not only been a footballer, he had been an ambassador for the sport, spreading its joy, beauty, and passion to every corner of the globe. His graceful playing style, his intelligence on the ball, and his unmatched scoring ability made him a global icon, and his retirement marked the closing of a chapter in which he had brought football to new heights. Despite his retirement from professional football, Pelé remained heavily involved in the sport. He continued to be an ambassador for football, promoting the game around the world. His love for the sport never wavered, and he remained an important figure in football, using his platform to inspire the next generation of players. Pelé's farewell to the football fields didn't just mark the end of his career, it marked the end of an era. But even as he walked away from the game, his legacy endured, shaping the future of football for generations to come. Pelé had changed the game forever, and his impact would continue to be felt long after his final whistle. Pelé's retirement from football is a testament to the incredible journey of a man who revolutionized the sport. His legacy lives on in the hearts of football fans across the world, and he remains an immortal figure in the history of the beautiful game. Pelé's influence extended far beyond the football pitch. After his retirement in 1977, he evolved into not just a football legend, but a global icon and an ambassador of the sport. His legacy was not confined to his extraordinary career on the field, but also to the way he used his fame and stature to promote football and inspire future generations. As one of the most recognized figures in the world, Pelé became the face of football. His name was synonymous with excellence, and his contributions to the game transcended the borders of Brazil. Wherever football was played, Pelé's impact was felt. He represented the sport with unmatched dignity, always promoting the beauty of the game and its power to bring people together. Throughout the years, Pelé took on numerous roles that allowed him to continue shaping the football world. He became a key figure in global football organizations, using his influence to promote the growth of the sport, especially in countries where football had yet to reach its full potential. Whether attending FIFA events or supporting local grassroots initiatives, Pelé was always working behind the scenes to further football's reach and improve its development worldwide. His contributions to the sport were not just about promoting it through his presence, but also through his philosophy. Pelé spoke often about the unifying power of football, stressing that the sport had the ability to break down barriers, foster friendships, and unite people from all walks of life. His commitment to spreading the message of football as a tool for peace and unity made him one of the sport's most important ambassadors. Pelé's iconic status also led to his involvement in countless charitable and humanitarian causes. He used his platform to support various organizations and movements, aiming to make the world a better place. He advocated for children's rights, education, and social justice, using his fame to raise awareness for causes that needed attention. His charity work, coupled with his football legacy, made him a symbol of hope and a role model for people everywhere. As an ambassador, Pelé represented Brazil with pride on the global stage. He was often called upon to represent his country in diplomatic and international settings, and he did so with the same passion and professionalism that he had shown on the field. Whether meeting with world leaders, speaking at major events, or appearing in global campaigns, Pelé became the personification of Brazil's rich footballing heritage. Pelé's influence also extended into the world of media, where he became a sought-after figure for advertising, documentaries, and interviews. His image, full of charisma and warmth, made him a perfect fit for various commercial ventures. As a result, Pelé was not only a football icon, but also a commercial powerhouse, working with global brands and companies, further solidifying his status as a global ambassador. Even years after his playing days ended, Pelé continued to inspire. His ability to connect with fans, his dedication to the growth of the sport, and his belief in football's power to bring people together cemented his place as one of the most important figures in sports history. Pelé's legacy as the ultimate global icon of football lives on, not just in the goals he scored or the trophies he won, but in the way he shaped the global landscape of the sport and the way he touched the hearts of millions around the world. Pelé's life, both on and off the football field, was not only marked by unparalleled success, but also by significant personal challenges. Despite his rise to international stardom and his status as one of the greatest football players in history, Pelé faced struggles that tested his resilience, character, and commitment to making a difference beyond sport. One of the most significant personal challenges Pelé encountered came after his retirement from professional football. Transitioning from being the world's most famous athlete to a private citizen, Pelé found himself navigating a new life, away from the spotlight of the football pitch. The pressure of maintaining a public persona while trying to live a quieter, more personal life was immense. He faced scrutiny and personal loss, but his inner strength and love for the game continued to fuel his desire to contribute to society. In addition to the challenges of retirement, Pelé faced battles with health issues later in life. Despite his remarkable physical fitness and athleticism during his playing years, the aging process brought struggles that included surgery and medical treatments. These health difficulties were compounded by personal grief, including the loss of close family members, moments that undoubtedly shaped the depth of his character and determination. However, through these personal tribulations, Pelé remained a symbol of perseverance. His strength in overcoming adversity gave him an even deeper connection to people around the world who admired him, not just as a football legend, but as a human being who experienced the same trials and tribulations as anyone else. His openness in discussing these struggles helped fans relate to him on a personal level, further humanizing the football icon. But Pelé's legacy extends far beyond his personal challenges and into his incredible work off the field as a humanitarian. Throughout his life, Pelé used his fame to shine a light on social issues and make positive contributions to the world. His commitment to charity, particularly for children and disadvantaged communities, has left an indelible mark. Pelé often said that his most significant achievements were not those on the field, but the ways he was able to use his platform to improve the lives of others. As a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, Pelé dedicated much of his time to causes related to children's rights, education, and poverty alleviation. He worked tirelessly to promote the welfare of young people, knowing that they were the future of not only football, but of society. He helped bring attention to the importance of giving children the opportunity to pursue their dreams, no matter their background or circumstances. His commitment to fighting for social justice and equality served as a reminder that even with his celebrity, the most valuable legacy is the one that touches the lives of others. Pelé's personal struggles and triumphs as a humanitarian helped him become a role model for countless people, both in Brazil and around the world. His ability to rise above personal hardship and use his influence to uplift others created a legacy of compassion, empathy, and social change. Through his charitable work, Pelé showed that football's impact can extend far beyond the field and into the hearts and lives of those who need it the most. Even after his passing, Pelé's humanitarian legacy continues to inspire new generations. His efforts to create a better world, whether through supporting healthcare initiatives, fighting for children's rights, or bringing awareness to social issues, will remain a crucial part of his story. Pelé's life stands as a testament to the fact that true greatness is not just measured by trophies and goals, but by the positive impact one has on the world and the lives of others. Pelé's title as the King of Football transcends the boundaries of sport. It is not merely a reflection of his skills on the pitch, but an emblem of the profound impact he had on the global landscape of football, culture, and human spirit. To be known as the greatest player to ever live is no small feat, but Pelé's legacy goes beyond just his athletic abilities. He became a symbol of excellence, passion, and a global ambassador for the beautiful game. Pelé's career was nothing short of legendary. With 3 FIFA World Cup titles to his name, 1958, 1962, and 1970, he was the driving force behind Brazil's dominance in international football, shaping the team's identity and elevating the nation's standing on the global stage. His combination of skill, vision, and leadership brought an unprecedented level of artistry to the game, influencing future generations of players and fans alike. Throughout his illustrious career, Pelé's ability to perform under pressure, his knack for scoring goals, and his effortless grace on the ball made him a beacon of hope and pride for millions. His moments on the field, like his iconic goals, stunning dribbles, and game-changing assists, are etched into the memories of football fans worldwide. But it wasn't just his technical prowess that made him so revered. Pelé's humility, sportsmanship, and character shone through both on and off the pitch, cementing his status as a true ambassador of the sport. The King of Football's reign was not limited to his playing days. Pelé's influence extended far beyond his retirement from professional football. He was instrumental in spreading the love of the game globally, particularly to regions where football was still growing in popularity. His charity work and commitment to improving lives through football made him not just a national treasure, but a beloved figure around the world. As the years passed, Pelé's reputation as a footballing icon only solidified. He remained involved in the sport as a global ambassador, continuing to inspire new generations of players, coaches, and fans. His association with football reached beyond simply being a player. He was a symbol of the values the sport embodies: discipline, perseverance, and the joy of competition. Even after his passing, Pelé's legacy as the eternal king of football lives on. His records, achievements, and unforgettable performances remain as a testament to his greatness. Yet, his true impact lies in the inspiration he provided to millions. Pelé will forever be remembered not just for his legendary status on the field, but for the way he changed the game, spread the love of football, and exemplified the power of sport to unite and uplift humanity. To this day, Pelé's name remains synonymous with football excellence. He is the benchmark against which all future footballing greatness will be measured. As long as the beautiful game is played, Pelé's legend will endure, an eternal king, not only of football, but of hearts around the world. As we celebrate the eternal legacy of Pelé, the king of football, let's continue honoring the incredible history of the Brazilian national team. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the glorious past of the Seleção Brasileira, while also staying up to date with the latest news and updates from the team, don't forget to subscribe to the Brazilian National Football Team Forever channel. Leave your like and share this video with fellow football fans around the world. Until next time.